Bipinga otatera eri 0200 52 27 22 0200 52 27.
Ekandi wo mnyoro kusera kimkichumbiro kyabatahi.
Mukyara mbayengenze kula mutayi ebintu byaleserege mwenegale ebintu bingi yetaga mbikugulire.
Bojo mnyoro wange rupyarekere nayo oswaza ebintu nyamwingi ebyo boinege byaguzirege.
Yora biguzi wa Rauma Traders.
Buli muntu wenda ni hakuirukira habo kubaine bintu bingi kandi akusubuza no kusubuza kama kengano rundi baking flour omunyo sukali byona wholesale akahungo mukilo mais gahema biskuiti esabune kikakya white star juice ulikikiona ebitabu peni ebigita lantenzi cooking oil ebyo kunywa byona hakabeiko omulembe
nibo ba agents ba best fly cooking oil na Crane laundry soap.
Rauma Traders ni basangwa Hatanga Street opposite na Ruby's petrol station.
Hakiombeko kyomugenzi wanzala orundi bayikira ruko moruno 0322 mwenda ina mukaga musanju 2 mukaga orundi 0702 mwenda ina mukaga musanju 2 mukaga.
Wewe ona dukani yako kwa charo
Rauma Traders
Tanga Street opposite Kobil petrol station kwa nyumba ile ambayo inajulikana ya marehemu Wanzala. Wanauza kila kitu ya madukani. Unataka kununua kaunga ya chapati, sukali, chumvi, sabunu, kaunga ya kula, unataka maji, simisimu na vile vitu vya kutumia vyote utavikuta pale. Wanaweza kukuhusisha hata kama unapeleka kwa dukani yako, hata kama unapeleka kwako nyumbani. Sasa unaweza kupigia nambari ya simu 0702946726 0392946726.
BBS, the People's Radio.
Akaire kebirango kakubaikibwaho aba Mujuni Enterprise okubasanga Isimba Kigumba Road nibatunde mbaho musaizi zona nibakwana transport. Aba Mujuni Enterprises bongeireme birungo obogurembaho nibakuhereza transport 100%. Bakutunda enku hamune bikoko aba Buruli nibakuguza ha sente entaito iwa ino bugenyi rundo rufu basange ha 0393 24 22 07.
Wepale kubana okyawulirize babasa kienda na munana katonze bili fama ready yekimburuka ganga ekebiro byokwezi Webale kubana okyawulirize babasa kienda na munana katonze bili fama ready yekimburuka ganga ekebiro byokwezi munana okwezi okwo musanju omwaka guno gwenyino gwe 2023 nikyo kiro kya mukage kiesabite enu tugenda kuba tulo mukijaguze ekyo ojja tusobole kuba ntujaguliza hamo kandi abazini bayingi baliyo endongo kali amataka eriyo buli kimu kyona kigendo maiso kurungie ntekaniza ziro mugiya ya haiguru muno kityo ntusigaize bironka bibiri byonko kuba ntuyika kijaguze ekyo ojja tusobole kuba ntusemererwa hamo ataro kwekwasa kuona kaire kebirango mu runyoro rutoro edakika ziri 25 za hingura haleme ya kairirizi kando kubikusomera ndi kugonza Godfrey Atoki ya moto musengya akaire kana kebirango katekubwa musente bagenzi baita ba Mujuni Enterprises abakusangwa ho Isimba aha rugudu rwa Masindi Kigumba bakutunde mbaho hakasente kataito muno sirinka kaga ne bitanu zonka kandi mbaho za abundaira ngazi kurungi kandi zikusarwa ziterekerere kurungi talo kwekwasa kuona ikayo ogulemba ho kandi bazikutwara muka sabusa na yo kwetaga kuba no gure bikonde mirape bikoko rundo ina mukoro gono kwetaga enko gendo mba Mujuni Enterprises okujja kuba no sobora kubitunga akasenta kataita katakuchwa nsaho yawe Mbirango byete byakairirize byona biri byokumanyisa Energy Management ya Kenya Sugar Limited KCL betera ine hamu na Board of Directors aba Masindi Sugar Cane Growers Association Limited Masgal no kusemererwa kwingi muno bakumanyisa bali minti bagenda kubane babasasura esente zanye zongezebwaho obumba mazire kutunda ebikaijo byanyu mutungireyo osente zokubanze semba yo bagizenti bagenda kubane nibalisasura okuraba accounts zanye zinyakule omubanka kaire kataito muno maisaho kityono bakumayinsa buli mulimi wena orabo manyire nto kaguza ekibikaijo byawe kinyara ikole lya Kinyara walihereza ebikaijo mwako gwe byensimbi 2023 bagizento laba watunzire ebikaijo byawe Kinyara kutandika kibanze kyokwezo ku musanjo mwako gwe 2022 okwikira biru byokwezi 30 omwaka guno okwezi okw'omukaaga omwaka guno gwenyino gwe 2023 bagamba nti okujja kuba n'otunga kasente kaawe kityono bakumanyisayo omulimu weena asobole kuba naguza kinya eikole lya kinyalere bikaijo mu kasumyako kuruga kibanza okwezi okw'omusanju omwaka gwe 2022 okwika ebiro by'okwezi 30 okwezi okw'omukaaga omwaka guno gwenyino gwe 2023 bagamba nti bakuhabwire genda mu banka osobole kuba nogumya rundi nogara akaunti yawe buyaka bwerabe sobole kuba nibagiemereza rundi bagambira ogifole active niko kinu kisobole kuba nikikonyera ikole lyesukali lya kinyaro kuba nibateeka akasente kawe bakusima yo muhulire omulimi agenda omaiso no sagika ikole niri lya kinyara kandi no bugumisiriza obukaire nabo bagizirinda kasente kawe bagenda kuba nibakateekaho bagamba yo kwetaaga kuba no manye bikiraho ogenda kuba no hikira corporate communications manager wa ikole rine lya kinyare lyesukali namba yesimu 0 musanju na ibiri kienda na isatu 0 na ibiri kienda na isatu rundo kusobora kuba no muhikira mukutu ogwo mutimbagane rundo mukutu kateraniza bintu kateraniza abantu ogwa omukutu walukamba kinyara.com.co.ug rundo terere omukuru w'entebe wa Masindi Sugar Canes Associations Limited Masgal anamba yesemo 0 musanju 82 10 0 52 rundi nawo kusobora kuba n'omuhikira mu kutugwe rundi gete email bagiesere rutaganza@gmail.com abanyakwina masimu ganago okusimura nosobora kuba n'orabaha email ezo kuhikira no kumanya biki byenyine bikuwata hansonga egyo eyo kusasura awulire sobora kuba n'omayisa mugenzi wari okwatwaho otyo birangirwe management ya Kinyara Sugar Limited KCL beterera hamwe na board of directors aba Masindi Sugar Cane Growers Association Limited Masgal ntibagenda kuba nibasasura akasente halabali mibona akasente akabongerwaho hanyuma abatunzire bikaijo nimiguza eikole lya sukali lya Kinyara omwaka gw'ebyensimbi gwe 2022 abatunzire bikaijo kutandika kibanzo kwezo kwa musanju 2022 okwike ebiro by'okwezi 30 kwezo kwa mukaaga 2023 ahulire mayisa mugenzi wari okwatwaho otyo Management hamna staff ya Green Valley Senior Secondary School ekusangwana munyamasazo ya Masindi no kusemererwa kwingi muno bakumanyisa abazaire bona abanyakwina begi hasomereryo Eria Green Valley Senior Secondary School bana begi abarara asomero beta bali mu boarding bagamba nte kire kyo kubungira abana banyu rundi gete visitation day etekanizibwa kuba nebayo kyasabite ebiro byo kwezi mwenda okwezi kuno kwenyero kwa musanje okutandika ne saha 3 za nyenki yakara okuyikira kime saha 11 ezaruwe bagyo bagizente kigenderwe kyo kubungira abegi bano hasomero kiro keberaho abana banyu mulingo bakusomamo rundi gete academic performance hamune engeso eza abana banyu zibaina ahasomero basabire bayiraba muri muzaire osobole kuba no wegendera wenka niko osobole kuba no manyo mwana wawe orulengo rwahikiroho mukwega kandi nengese zainazo asomero bagamba nti kino kikuru omuzaire anyakwina yebisale bye isomero okasasura obayitutoka bayire kuba no malira nayi watakasasuliraho kimuka sente kona bakwijukya nti bayirabe bisale bye isomero genda nabyo hakirekyo niko osobole kukonyera omwana wawe atatunga okutalibanizibwa omukwega kwe bamazire kuba ne bamugamba garuke muka kandi kuba natabale bisale bye isomero bakwijukize bayiraba ogende nabyo byarangwa management ya Green Valley Senior Secondary School. Management ya Masindi Kitara Hospital bakutekaniza yo okujanjaba abana ekiro kyo okujanjaba hairwalere gete pediatric clinic bagamba nti kinu bagenda kuba bakikora bayina obusagiki obwa daktari kurugo mu ihanga eri America hamwe nabantu abeherezayo okuba bakora emirimo ya busetali yokusasura beta ba volunteers bagamba nti obuhereza buno burabaye ebiro by'okwezi 13 okwezi kuno kwenyino kwa musanju hairwalere ya Masindi Kitara Hospital giete Masindi Kitara Medical Center bagizento obuhereza buno buona rundo bujanjabi buraba buwabusa atalo okusasura gonse na sente nemu kityono bakweta abantu nywena abanyamasozi y'amasindi hamwe n'ebichweka ebihereiroho abayina bana kuruga hakuzarwa rundi kuruga hakiro kimu okwikira kimu ha myaka 16 eyo bukuru musobole kuba ni muija mutunge obujanja bibuno bwabusa hala bana banya banyakwine bizibu gamanke bya maino okugema kuona kuraba kwabusa no kuhebwa emibazo endi yona n'obujanja bibwona kuruga ha mwana wekiro kimukwika amyaka 16 y'obukuru bayira bujanja buli bwabusa bagizire nti balitandika ebiro by'okwezi 13 okwezi kuno kwa musanjo okutandika ne saha 2 za nyenkyakara okwikira kimu ne saha 11 eza rwebagyo ahuliro sabiro kuba n'omanyisa mugenzi wari okwatwa hotyo birangirwe management eya Masindikitara Hospital Giete Masindikitara Medical Center. Management ya King James School of Nursing and Midwifery kusangwa lira ekumanyisa abayikazi abantu nyono munyamasozi ya Masindi nebichweke bihereiroho ntokuhandiko kwa begi aborusomo rukwezo kwa musanjo omwaka guno gwenyero gwe 2023 Giete July 2023 intake set ya 12 ntikulioni kugendo maiso kandi bakwegesa abegi harulengo rwa certificate of nursing hamuna certificate of midwifery bagizirente itendekero lineri ya King James School of Nursing and Midwifery bagendo maiso nobusagiki bwabo kuruga the Greater Kwania Scholarship Foundation okubani bahereze bichweka 50 habuli 10 habuli mwegi yakuba nagenda kuba nasoma certificate of nursing hamuna certificate of midwifery bagizirenti omwegi akuikirizibwa kuba nahebwe kikarundo kuhandikibwa oina kuba mazire senior yakana kanda ikiro ina pass 8 omasomo gama nkurujungu physics chemistry biology hamu no kubara bagizente somero lini lya King James School of Nursing and Midwifery kusangwa lira bakoraganira hamu ne kitebe kine kya the Greater Kwania Scholarship Foundation okuba ni bayirukanize entekanizene yo kusasuliraho abegi babahereza bichweka 50 habuli 10 bagizente entekanizene kujja kuba ne mara emyaka 5 obone bakoraganira hamu ne itendekero lino iwakwetagire kuba no tunga admission forms okujja kuba no isanga hana baba safama niko sobole kuba no gendo kutandika kuwega ebiro by'okwezi 14 okwezi kuno kwenyino ku musanje 2023 iwakwetaga kuba no manye bikusinga okujja kuba no ikira director witendekereri aziro musanje 85 58 00 50 rundi tera administrator wa Greater Kwania Scholarship Foundation aziro musanju 2 kienda na 2 13 5 na 8 ahulire sobora kubano manyisa mugenzi waru kwatwaho otyo omulizo mulungi dakika 34 zahingura asaha yaiteme yakairirizi nyikiriza nsobole kuba ninkutwaromba genzi baita bakuruga ha Ready As Education nkoko kimanyire bulikiro ekiyakasatu okutandika nesaha emune kichweka tubana bakuru okuruga ha itendekereri kandi bamazirigera kuba ne bahika Madam Masa Aloho hamuno wekitinisa Richard na wahikiregeira kuba ne bagira kuongera yo okutwara omaiso nyikiriza nkuhumuzo kake muno sobole kuba ninyo egilasi ya maize kandi niko tusobole kuba ntweyongera na bagenzi baitu kuruga ha Ready As Education.
Just steady down, no. See me, got the music. God, I love you. Siva sumba, usala kwirale. Nunge gusa, nabono ago singurani. Oh mama, oh mama, oh mama, oh mama, oh mama. Tuze bigira hino wibwirwa gukunda urasusurutsa nakazuba karashe ukangusha neza akayaga kari munsi. Come on take my love, come on take, should come on take my love. Chibasumba
nja kulumba oba nywe ku kabingi ngambye bawajiri nti gwe my darling
Ekimuluta BBS Radio Masindi Bano iribawo Onana July 2023 Ekimuluta BBS Radio Masindi Masindi bwana Jamusube Ekimuluta BBS Radio Masindi Gamunana July Masindi mukisawe Ekimuluka ganga Chikuletede Dr. Jose Chameleon Sabwana Toro Wininwaji Omutume Planet wa Chaiwenjaye Catherine Sasira Wakatana baimibe Masindi N'abalala banjo kuve Kampala Okuyingira mu twalo gomuwoka DJ Sounds ya Nese Sound Wakina kwa Fireworks Abanago bamuseze taule kunde
mwana yaluze chaye wenja
Nana July 2023 Masindi mukisawe Chimboro cha BBS Radio Masindi Chimboro kaganga
Broadcasting Service, BBS. For people who think different.
Now something completely different.
BBS.
Mulizo mulungi w'ensoro ey'enkulakulana nayo wakutula mu kutu gwa YouTube Baba Safama Masindi genda yosobole kuba noturora okusobola kuba no subscribinga likinga kandi okyolo sharing nikwo n'omuntu ndatunga kagisa okuba nasobola kuba natunga chance eyokurura hali tuli nawe osobole kuba nahondera enteekaniza zoona nk'okuzikulibata hana nyamaraka yawe nungi muno ya Baba Sakinda na munana katonze birifama omu studios nkyali kugonza Godfrey Atoki amoto musengya koko nkugambire nyina bakuru kuruga Red Arts Education Center nyina Madam Martha Ham na Mr. Richard baloho kuba ni batwara omaiso kandi tugenda kuba akiro kino tukutunura haitendekero eryankumba university nko kuba itaga ni bakugambira nti bakuongera kuragana na universities ezitali zimu na zimu kurura nti nibasembeza obuhereza hayi kworobezamu abana bakwetaga kuba ni basoma abantu abalaha mirimo bakwetaga kuba ni beyongera yo nokusoma niko obuhereza busobole kuba ni busembera hayire nyikiriza nsobole kuba nimbatangira kantandikise Madam Martha otramukyoho nuko tweyongere yo na Mr. Richard na atramukyo.
Good evening our dear listeners. My name is Nazwa Martha. I am from Red Earth Education.
Okay, you're welcome Madam Martha. Also Mr. Richard, you also say hi to the listeners and then we proceed.
Hello listeners, Wenani Richard Mandela is my name. It's a pleasure having you again today and hoping to share more.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, omulizo mulungi ndi baba bagenya benyi nabo omu studios kansabe atusobole kuba ntutandikira wa Madam Martha asobole kuba natwongera yo turole ali tugenda kuba ntutandikira.
Yes, so our dear listeners, I'm going to first take you back a little bit about Kumba University and how we relate to it as Red Earth Education.
Okay.
Yes, so briefly about Kumba University, it's a chartered private university. Esangibwa in Tebe in Kampala. It has 2 branches. One branch, the main branch is in Kumba in Entebbe, and then the second branch is in Rubaga near Kabaka and Jagala. So Red Earth Education,
the big idea,
is working with Kumba University to bring services near to Masindi and the neighboring areas. So Red Earth kolagana ni Kumba University. Literally, because Red Earth is a non-government organization, means it's service beyond self. Eyagala nnyo yamba abantu. We've seen this in the way they relate to head teachers, the services they provided over the years. So when Kumba University was looking for another home where they can bring services to other people, Red Earth jumped to the opportunity and it offered because I feel it's really strictly non-profitable. We just want the people of our region bakule bafune access to university in a better way or an easier way.
Kwa bazaire abatayina kasenta kayingi batungo mugesa university sembire hayi.
Yes, because when you look at university life, tuition omuzadde ayinza ogamba nja musobola, but these other costs that come with the tuition,
like hostels,
hostel, exactly, not take a feeding, and then the security of the child. So it becomes easier omwana singa basomera credit earth education ngasomera ku Nkumba University. I don't know if it makes sense. Naye it becomes easier for the parent to meet the costs. And because Nkumba University, the program it brings is called distance learning, it means sente data ziba nyingi nnyo. For example, omwana, if a student is doing a bachelor's degree in education, roughly, normally, yandibadde asasula like 1.8 a semester. Akakadde kamu emitwalo 8. But because ali ku distance learning, you realize the student is paying like 1.1. Sometimes 1. Roughly nga sente ozirabira ddala zeetoddeko. Ate ogenda kwekanga nga yandibadde probably akola diploma nga asasula probably 1.2, 1.5 nga asasula sente nga 800, 900.
Almost a half of it.
Exactly. So it really is a cheaper opportunity to upgrade your life and access education. Yes. So I'm basically communicating to the parents that the August intake is knocking. So bring your students, know about the moderator, you can come and register and upgrade. Also, could registering with us at Traders Education, and then you start studying.
Okay. Ningira nti omuzaire nyakula hero okwo ogenda noyongera kwetegereza habwaki abagenyi bano bali hano akwongera kandi nabwaki Red Arts roho ekulora nti einekie kwongera heki amani muno kugamba nti abazaire kwongera kukendezaho nabantu kinomu iwala hamuli mugwawe okora bato kwetagire kuba noyongera yokuba nosoma kukenderezaho esente zokusobora kuba noteeka like kurugana ugenda Kampala every weekend or traveling ogendo kyorogaruke kyabalazo ina kuba nogenda hamulimo kuongera kukenderezaho no kuorobezamu emisomo yawe nikwesobole kuba nekugendera kurungi nikyo agambire nti Red Arts koragana hamuna government kuranti ndibasembezaho obuhereza hayi kuranti ebintu nibisobora kuba nibiri bata kurungi kano ranti ndebisale bikuongera kusalekaho like obo kuba nogenda hati obugenda omwana ina kuba no musasuliro buraro o ina kuba n'omugulire byokulya bato bwako bale hano kwijja ke handikisa kusobora kuba nasomeraga even alino muka nakoraga nemirimendi nasoma online nasoma kiasere distance learning kuba nasomera kuno but when it comes obwire bokole bizamu niba kusobora kuba maybe na traveling arunda genda kolebyo akorona nti akaire no sobora kuba no kendeza isente alukusasuire milioni munke nekichweka kwesanga sente zigarukiro hanze so no wesanga nti nkomuzaire naiwe oineke ogenda kuba no goboramu naiwe omuntu akwekolesa runda hali muri mu bakozesa ola admin olinka office yone yokora mbato kwetagire kuba no weyongera kuba nekikonyeraho okurura nti emirimo yawe kusigara no libata kurungi kandi nebitabo byawe no soma kurungi otayineke kutalibaniza gonze nakataitu Madam Masa waliwe ekirala kituwengerayo nga tunaba ku
Yes, Chenjagala probably to explain what distance learning is because I've realized that the people who listen, by the way, thank you for listening, the people who listen end up asking questions. Yeah, we can program, yeah, full time, and yet I end up like I communicate that it's a distance program. So distance program, ebelanga holiday program. Ngokola byokola buli kaseera normally, but there are 2 weeks. Wojja. And then the lecturers travel from Kampala nebajja nebabasomesa face to face nebabasomesa for those 2 weeks. After those 2 weeks you're registered for online learning because remember you're a student, so you have access to online learning, online library, like you have access to the facilities. So wogende waka woddayo normally tolekera okusoma but rather gwene lecturer wo mutandiko schedulinga n'abantu abalabyo bamusoma nabo namugamba ba buli Wednesday saa 11 tugenda banga tusoma oba waka tugenda msindikanga ku WhatsApp. Submit your coursework every end of month but before you know it the semester has ended. And then nebategeka the period for examinations. And this period, because they are very understanding, it's not a must that you have to travel for the examinations. Because I'm thinking, I've never probably been to Kampala, I'm traveling for the first time, you know, no accommodation, no soma ukole because I understand. So most of the time, this decision is by vote. Because this class has very many students, we are going to organize because we call it a create earth education.
Okay.
Sometimes because oyinza okola probably business computing your things have to be a little bit more practical, much as we also have a computer lab, but you understand some things are technical. That way sometimes it can be arranged for you guys to go and do the paper there in person.
Okay.
Yes, so basically that's the distance learning program.
Okay, ningiro muhuliriza tukweyongerayo nogira ekyokwetegerezaho mu mbeera eyokusoma noyetegereza distance learning kikumanyisa ki nti kuba nosoma otali asomera obwire bwona akusobola nti abasomesa rundi bete abatendeki bakusobola kuba ne barugaga nkumba ne bajaga ready us nosobola kuba nosoma ando obwire bukwika obwokola ebigezo okusobola kuba nobikolera hano obukikuba kiyetagisize nikisoboka obukuba nikiyetagisa kuba nohika henyine haitendekero and then kuba oina kuba ne muyikiraniza obukusobola kuba no traveling agenda Kampala nikosobole kuba nokora ebigezo byawo tayine kikutalibaniza gonze na kititu. Okay, let me go to Richard.
Yes, moderator. Kwenda kutanika na reason why nyewe nijanu kusaba abantu ababawuliriza kuja kusoma computer. Nekindi basically program kize twine kuja kora computer read earth twegesa program ziba kweta basic skill training. Program as Martha has mentioned, program zili under certificate, diploma and degree. Baitu inayo basic skilling. Ate zili okuba nosasura kusoma like myaka 2 mwaka gumu, myaka 3, myaka yes, kabukuwa computer science myaka 3, IT bachelor's myaka 3. So diploma oja kusoma myaka 2. Yes. Then tuinayo zino zibakweta basic skill zikwisana preparing for the bigger package. Abana basomeire up country, access to computer ebaire low. Bagenda courses bagenda balikichala bakufeelinga bana bakuzire baina kora independent research. Ato mwana ono tamanyire kosa computer. Aja kutandika ku encouraging courses okoraki zo muntu onda mukolere waka
wiki atekoleye.
Yes, internet cafe biro bintu zikyakora. Abwe masimu actually zikyakora zikinga zikakinga no king. Yes, ati aja kutoza internet cafe kumuyamba buli kimu costs za kugenda kuli baraba ayigere kosa computer. Munywani wasa kuba na computer na mutiza then nakora waka ya ina submitting. Baraba agenda internet cafe. Timing eba kumwa internet te kumumara internet cafe
sango bwire buli bugufu muno.
Yes. So submission ya waka adire ingire naitwi omuntu asakuba ali Kampala oli hano maybe alwa kutoza mulimo bamusabire papura. Instead yogamba manyaka tekemu abasi ya taxi we traveling. How are you sure that all aja kulinda bite bya receiving at that moment?
Antomanyire basi genda kuba ne marabwire ki muhanda.
Yes. When in actual sense ona sagamba nsindikira email oba nsindikira WhatsApp. Yes. So programs twina zilizo tuyamba kuwa familiar with technology. Technology nkagamba programs zitu into ijambagambira technology kuhinduka. We want to ina technology bakweta AI. Ege izire abo yati twikira level ngo wenda intera simu mudachika 5 ege program ekwate iraka lyange negenda ni tika kisani kyange. Yes. So ekusa kwata nanka maraka gawe ne teka photo bintu byotabalize ne changing ne manipulating ne producing nguni wabibalize egi niyo technology izire mu Europe ili ikire mu Africa tujja kutandika agiro so technology ku changing boija red earth tugenda ni tuku guidinga ukwenda kora program eno abako takoreno yes so mu IT it is skill programs tukora alo muntu atamanyire kuteka computer ekyo tuina kuikiriza tuina abo bantu abo alo bani bakutina kwata computer so wokwijja no familiaringa ne kwata computer
mugikozesa
yes it becomes easier kalimo kasa kwija ulibuko bakutoza amanyire computer binu byokuyandikisa voting ID biki bajagamba
bagya kutoza abana bamanyire computer ndakitwale bagya garuka mukure nyunga ID
yes
so abusa kutungo mugisogo
ogenzere kora office added advantage borabo manyire IT aloka small amount of money bakongezo maybe oli nursing officer bakwenda nursing officer akirasa kugenda nataha bintu mu system
actually kikubaza ho Mr Richard Ndozere amasomero gakusinga obwingi gagenzere gagura computer bano wesanga ati abasomesa abakumanya IT haba apase aboro bona no sanga gurundo sange somero yena detaina ni batandika ku hiring omuntu akumanya computer from outside
so charges ezo zona so kitu gamba bwaraboli company bwaraboli isomero companies nyonge na nimzigamba identifying aba staff bawe osasure training once and for all and more small maintenance programs your staff can do awokuba why should you call me to activate for you office program when in actual sense bokwija first time no sasura ni kulekera na software no gura na software so kyangeterera if it is so much technical kwabura computer no kutanika kanika baitu binu bi application companies kyaine bizibi
Windows zikuzira kwenda kuinstalling amezindi na bakuterere obuntu nkobo bukwangu
yes ati nyowe obwire wenja kumara ninja nja kusaba echai utansa swire zange ompereze mitware 5
akuongera na transport
nyongere na transport each time computer yawe crashing oja kunyetaga yes so tukwenda kuonyera businesses na abantu abakwirukaniza ebintu ebyo ba staff bawe baina kumanya engeri yo kuhandlinga technology abako omuntu bwakosa kubi okuinkaringa costs za kumaintaininga technology gadgets ezo so to training how to safely use gadgets how to safely communicate how to properly communicate using technology technology tugamba computer yonka simu yetwina yes simu communication era simu tebanga communication yemuba one on one abantu bakuinterpreting information differently omuntu barabana akurara one on one oja ku apologize nganyira aho nsobeze baitu bya media bya nsobeze tibiri
ebyo tibiri mu byate bikora
yes cause the damages so how can you properly communicate on media ezo programs ziliyo so programs tuina Microsoft Office program to kwega introduction to computer PowerPoint Excel Word database internet and mails then we took a practical skill program tuina computer repair and maintenance to egyo eliyo then data security bulikiro kuandika mu kitabu ekyo suppose rats eat storage yawe
runde njura kakube kitera
access to information if you store your work online adenga nyongera online storage which wajja kunkaguza is it safe even you to explaining when you come on ground but I keep my information each time computer yange bwefune kizibwengura bwefuna computer endi bintu byange byone baira computer eri bigaruka obyunga yes so that's what we train people using applications oja kusoma online okuja registering a distance learning okwetaga okwega engeri yo kutapinga lessons online without each time kuntereraga simu alo bwire boja kuba no etaga kuba kuyambe omuntu wokwena kuyambe ali busy na
kole.
Yes, so nikyo tugamba to training abandi nibyo mirimo
esobole kuba negendo maiso kurungi.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Richard, we bali muno abwenti kwanjurura kurunge ebikwatagana ha computer, but I have a friend of mine akabana nkaguza nkahura kimo nimubaza ha muri already yaho bakwegesa computer already as, but what about phones kanika like amasimu olaka kubaba na yetaga kuba na yiga kanika simalo haye bayire nankaguza nyamugamba no Richard bwalija ndi mukaguza sobole kuba na kugaruka muno wehulira wenga
kukanika simu ititu bikora. Yes, sinyako bidupa ito tujanu umanya kutoza sente tuwenja kuyamba community. So byesimu alo kitugamba connection. Abo kuba imagine ogo client amanyire ngumuntu wena mkanika computer. So aja kama ogusimize kanika. Nyo kukanika software zamasimu. Baitu zijamu hardware. Obwire bwemara mbwereza computer na printers. So tindi mu masimu. But still nsa ku identifyinga na mbero asa kuiga bintu ebyo. Yes, I read earth titubine bya masimu. Yes.
Kanire nti yabaire nakaguza osobere kuba no hura Richard and burabota hulire abunda kwitena kujja kuba ninkugambira ekiyagarukiremo nikwasobole kuba nakukonyera naye mulingo gumurundo gundo sobole kuba notunga ekikusobora kuba nikukonyera dakika tusigaize biri kuba ntumalira like ebigambo bye kusobora kuba nibimalira ndiko tusobole kuba ntuheregera entekanizo.
Abegesa training ya begesa basasura mutwaro gumu buli holiday tubayereza weekend yo kusasura mutwaro gumu ni basoma. Ege program ya holiday second term holiday kutandika biro 28 ku 8 ne kanga kibanza September. So abegesa batuhuliriza ege program ya nyero wakumara program ege ofuna certificate. Certificate ezo zituyamba kenkwenda kumara nakyo tukufunaga calls bantu bakutera ni tugamba tuine emirimu areda tu advertising itwe nyotinga abamirimu batu bwenkufuna omuntu akunterera ngenda nintolereza iyo alo batutera ne bagamba mugambo training abantu nyo ntandikire business maybe ali akwegesa baita atandikire business ya stationery tasa kuba isomero kan na running a business so aina natozo
mukozi.
Yes, izo nzo connections between. Yes.
Nekimanyi ndo kusobora kuba nokonyeraho omuntu abo kuba kutere no sobora kuba no mutungiro mulimo but already as henyine tali yemirimo yokugaba.
Ni general tinsa ku promising omuntu nyakugamba bwenkufuna yako wenda yagaruka nkugambire. Yes.
Ningira sibulira kimaba buliriza.
Nkwenda kusima baliriza ne kiro kitugaruka next week. Utugaruka tujja kweyongerawo na mbere tukangire webale kuuliriza.
Madam Martha, also your last word as we wind up.
I would like to thank our dear listeners for listening and for hosting us.
Thank you and I wish you a good night. Omulizo mulungi wa baba sensoro yenkurakurana empetekanza yeta uniyo yagarukira leka tweyongere tugende omakuru gaito mu rujungu tubanze tungaga abamwera mbande.
This is VOA News. In Washington, I'm Jeff Custer. Thousands of mourners Wednesday attended the funerals of Palestinians killed in clashes during an Israeli military operation in the West Bank city of Jenin. The bodies of 8 Palestinians were carried through the streets with mourners chanting and carrying flags. Israel's army declared the end of the large-scale operation earlier Wednesday. Reuters correspondent Ryan Chang reports.
What did Israeli leader Benjamin Netanyahu gain? This man asks. He only damaged things. The man says he also lost a grocery store and everything is gone. Power and water supplies remained cut off in some areas after bulldozers plowed up roads looking for improvised bombs. The Jenin camp has been the focus of a wave of violence that has swept the West Bank over the last year. The Israeli operation in the city was launched with a drone strike on Monday. Over 1,000 troops were deployed. At least 12 Palestinians, 5 of them fighters, and 1 Israeli soldier had been killed.
That was Reuters correspondent Ryan Chang reporting. British and Polish foreign ministers said Wednesday that the process of Ukraine joining NATO would likely be accelerated as the country's military adapted to using the alliance's donated equipment. British Foreign Minister James Cleverly and his Polish counterparts, Zbigniew Rau, both expressed hopes that Ukraine would see an expedited ascension process similar to that used by Finland when it joined the alliance earlier this year. Cleverly said NATO's members have already spoken with one voice regarding Ukraine.
Ukraine's future is within NATO. The timing for that was never tightly defined. But what we have seen over the last 16, 17, 18 months is the Ukrainian armed forces evolve, adapt, and modernize at an incredible rate.
This is VOA News. The World Health Organization announced Wednesday 12 African countries are set to receive 18 million doses of the first malaria vaccine over the next 2 years. At a news conference at agency headquarters in Geneva, WHO officials said the rollout is a critical step forward in the fight against one of the leading causes of death on the African continent. They said they have more than 4.5 million doses of the vaccine already deployed in 3 countries, immunizing about 1.5 million children. WHO Emergencies Program Director Michael Ryan said climate change has made the malaria problem worse.
It's not just the climate per se. It's the climate interacting with the density of the population, with poverty, with the lack of services. And therefore, climate is one of the drivers. It's creating more and more opportunities for these vectors to thrive and act as conduits of the disease. And we're not doing enough to protect our communities from that.
Myanmar Supreme Court has heard final arguments in appeals by ousted leader Aung San Suu Kyi of her convictions in 2 cases involving charges of election fraud and breaching the country's official Secrets Act. More from VOA's Steve Miller.
A legal official familiar with the cases says the court could rule in the next 2 months. Suu Kyi was arrested when the military seized power from her elected government in February 2021. She has been convicted on criminal offenses and sentenced to a total of 33 years in prison, mostly on charges brought by the military government. Suu Kyi's supporters and legal experts say the cases are an attempt to legitimize the military's seizure of power while discrediting her and preventing her return to politics. Additional appeals are expected. Steve Miller, VOA News.
A woman in the southeastern U.S. state of South Carolina has been found dead following an alligator attack. Associated Press correspondent Lisa Dwyer reports.
The 69-year-old woman was found dead in the Spanish Wells community of Hilton Head Island. She was found at the edge of a lagoon bordering a golf course. Emergency rescue efforts were hampered by an alligator that appeared to be guarding the body. The alligator was safely removed, and the woman's body was recovered. The dog was found safe. An autopsy on the woman is pending. It's the second fatal alligator attack in the same county in the past year. An 88-year-old Sun City woman was attacked by an alligator at a lagoon near her home back in August 2022. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
For pictures, videos, stories, and more, follow the Voice of America on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. In Washington, I'm Jeff Custer. This is VOA News.
BBS News. Proudly sponsored by Tusker Premium Cider. Exploding with taste. For those with taste. Excessive alcohol consumption is harmful to your health. Not for sale to persons under the age of 18.
A very good evening and thank you so much for listening to BBS FM, the 5th of July 2023 and 5 minutes past 8 p.m. I'm Jela Zelinaitu with the news in English on BBS FM, but let's start with the top stories. Canadian pastor Joel Wells arrives in Masindi ahead of mega crusade. UNMA warns water travelers of strong winds, waves. have retirement plans, Brigadier General Chigozi to UPDF retirees, and schools urged to adopt vegan diets for students' better health. The news in detail. Canadian pastor Joe Wells arrives in Masindi ahead of mega crusade. Now, the long-awaited man of God, Joe Wells, has this evening arrived in Masindi ahead of a mega crusade organized by Masindi Pastors Union, slated for 6th to 9th of July 2023 and to be held at Masindi Boma Grounds. Wells was welcomed by thousands of born-again believers with a procession from Kafo to Kijura town, then to Masindi Boma Ground, where he shortly addressed the congregation. Joe Wells, while addressing the congregation this evening at Masindi Boma Ground, said he was very sure Jesus is alive and loves his people, adding that he is optimistic the crusade will have lots of miracles. Moving on, Pastor Billy Anatoli, the Crusade Director, Lift Crusade Ministries, said their presence in Masindi is an affiliation with Pastor Peter Kasirie from Gaba Community Church in Kampala in conjunction with Masindi Pastors Union, with a vision of awakening and strengthening the spirits of believers. Pastor Jackson Nyakojo, the chairperson Lift Masindi Crusade, expressed his happiness to have achieved this and calls upon all believers, regardless of their religious affiliations, to attend this crusade for miracles. And now moving on, UNMA warns water travelers of strong winds and waves. The Uganda National Meteorological Authority, UNMA, has issued an alert about the risk of accidents as strong winds and large waves persist on Lake Victoria today. Winds and water waves are some of the major contributors to drowning in water bodies in the country. There is no clear data on annual drowning deaths in Uganda, according to the Ministry of Health, but at least 3,500 Ugandans across 74 districts are reported to have drowned over a 2.5-year period, according to a 2021 report by Makerere University's School of Public Health. This translates into 1,400 deaths per year. Dr. Frederick Oporia, a lecturer at Makerere University School of Public Health, said earlier that Uganda has the world's highest drowning death rate of 502 per 100,000 cases. That is 60 times higher than the estimate on the continent. He, however, notes that the Ministry of Health has secured 14 boat ambulances on an intervention he says will be essential in reducing drowning-related deaths. Moving on, still have retirement plans, Brigadier General Chigozi to UPDF retirees. Uganda People's Defence Force Deputy Chief of Personnel and Administration, Brigadier General Godfrey Kawesa Chigozi, has advised senior officers who are yet to retire in August to have a retirement plan with a positive mindset ahead of their new life. He made the remarks during the ongoing exercise at Gaddafi Barracks in Jinja Cantonment, where 99 officers from the rank of Major to Colonel are gathered for documentation and sensitization. He says the purpose of the pre-retirement exercise is to offer financial literacy to retirees as they prepare for the next life. Meanwhile, the Commissioner, Human Resource at the Ministry of Defense and Veterans Affairs, Anguzu, advised the retiring officers to avoid unnecessary spending. Still moving on, schools urged to adopt vegan diets for students' better health. School administrators have been urged to incorporate plant-based meals for the betterment of children's health. The call was made by Innocent Nabasa, the Executive Director, Uganda Vegan Society, during a vegan school lunch campaign launch at Kazo Junior School in Kawempe. The campaign aims at promoting sustainable, affordable and tasty plant-based foods in schools. Speaking at the program launch, Nabasa said the initiative aims at encouraging children to eat healthy by eating plant-based foods instead of animal products, which have been linked to several non-communicable diseases like diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and some cancers. She noted that through the program, they will be working with students and teachers to ensure that from a young age, these children eat healthy and know and know how these healthy plant-based foods are made. However, Sekamanya stressed that they still face a challenge of inadequate land to grow their own fruits and food crops, unlike the case for upcountry schools which have ample land. According to Nabasa, beyond promoting vegan meals in schools, the program aims at creating awareness about animal compassion. She added that the program will also go a long way in promoting conservation of environment, whereby instead of clearing land for cattle and poultry rearing, school administrators will be advised on planting food crops mixed with trees and fruits. The one-year project targets 20 schools in Kampala and Wakiso. A survey conducted by Ipsos in 2018 estimated that vegans make up 3% of the global population. In sports news, Dennis Omedi joins Kitara FC. Now forward Dennis Omedi has left FUFA Big League side Boma Football Club based in Masindi to join the Uganda Premier League newcomers Kitara FC on a 2-year contract deal. Omedi leaves Boma FC with a year left to complete his contract, and he was one of the top scorers, scoring 18 goals in the 2022-2023 FUFA Big League season. Still listening to BBS FM News, let's now cross to the foreign news. In our foreign news tonight, migrants attacked in Tunisia, thrown off balconies. Migrants from sub-Saharan Africa have been attacked in the Tunisian city of Sfax, with dozens reportedly wounded. The unrest was triggered by the killing of a Tunisian man on Monday during an altercation with several migrants. A non-governmental group said that in reprisal attacks, some migrants were thrown from balconies and others attacked with swords. Women and children were among those targeted. Witnesses say that dozens have been forced out of the city, which is a key departure point for people seeking to enter the European Union by sailing to the Italian island of Lampedusa. And now to end this evening bulletin, let's have a recap of our top stories. Canadian pastor Joy Wells arrives in Masindi ahead of mega crusade. UNMA warns water travelers of strong winds and waves. Have retirement plans. Brigadier Chigozi to UPDF retirees. Schools urge to adopt vegan diets for students' better health. And in foreign news, migrants attacked in Tunisia, thrown off balconies. Thank you so much for ever choosing to listen to us. We are very, very glad. And we wish you a very, very good evening. And that's all we've gathered for you tonight. Have yourself a very good evening. For BBS FM, I'm Jelazio Linaitwe.
BBS News.
Proudly sponsored by
Tusker Premium Cider. Exploding with taste. For those with taste. Excessive alcohol consumption is harmful to your health. Not for sale to persons under the age of 18. What happens when two people with great taste catch a vibe? One cool and chill, the other bold, feisty, and full of life. An explosion of taste that can only be matched by the explosion of the cool, delicious, crisp, sharp flavor that comes from a Tusker Premium Cider. Get yours at only 4,000 Uganda shillings at an outlet near you. Tusker Premium Cider. Exploding with taste. For those with taste. Excessive alcohol consumption is harmful to your health. Not for sale to persons under the age of 18.
Don't get confused with similar products which may not work as effectively as Head Aid. Head Aid tabs come in pink color and oval shape in a white pouch.
So many times I have a headache and I get a hard time.
Does headache affect your work?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yay.
Get the first aid from a nearby pharmacy or drug shop.
What? First aid for headache?
Yes. Get Head Aid tablets, the first aid for headache. Head Aid promptly relieves headache and sets you back to work. And moreover, Head Aid also works for toothache, backache, muscle and joint pain. As well, Head Aid works for fever.
Trust only Head Aid for headache, the first aid for headache. Head Aid is approved by National Drug Authority of Uganda. Head Aid is available in all drug shops and pharmacies across Uganda.
This is a quality product from MediWorld Pharma Africa Limited.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
'Cause Head Aid is here for the pain, and Head Aid can heal all your pain. Grab Head Aid.
Ekimburukia BBS Kaganga tusimbuire
yogera lero bangate wanjagala kumoyo. Yes, wampita Dr. Jose Kamini Sala Simba inakuzo mwezi nga munana July echimbulu cha BBS Radio Masindi echimbulu Kaganga munsange yongena bakubango makuma kumuziki baimbi banji inakuzo mwezi nga munana July muchisawe che Masindi yo wampita Dr. Jose Kamini Sala rati tasokano chonda bakonga tona kinda
ekimburukia BBS Kaganga naba kuchimalaika guno mukwano gunjo changa hoti kawa oswiti my dokita zikakananga nabi wange my flower mugamba chinze fire baby wame the girl them sugar a winning noaji from Swanks Avenue ngamba tegeza nchinga munana July ngenda kubeera mu chimbulu ja BBS Radio mutisawe Masindi so abe Masindi fire baby nzijia tusimbuire
myobo wadusi abade izi mungu ni boya abade katedre warungoniti otolu mungu si yo Masindi ndio mimi JM Kennedy sauti ya Simba the baddest the roughest the toughest representing West Nile ombudu arosi embazirisi oduaziasi ama Masindi matinji ya chisi stadium ama fisilinga alufu mudrisi ama yofesi afusi yo akina chisi tia yo fatulie no kurumbe tia mani ya fude na yenga vibe zikutebitia anti omwana yalunze chai wenje abantu be Masindi mbategezanga munana omwezo gw'omusanvu ngenda kubera oku echimbulu cha BBS Radio Masindi muchisawe tugenda kubera we echimbulu Kaganga Fabwe pene tumtume nsalako muje tuzike bachairman muje tutabule buchai atiko twamutegedde muje omusezi twamutegedde muje tukube ndongo paka budeke jenge anti nsalaka omwe namubereyo Fabwe pene tumtume jende insosera banyasala inyasala hanga kuba butterflies nenti afena tubereyo
basabane banyabo abantu be Masindi inze ngatoro stapuwa ngina kubera no mwinga munana ogwa musanvu mu echimbulu cha Radio BBS mu chisawe Masindi mu chitu bamaleko stress kusama wanike mikono jese mu masoko uliwa muki
ekimburu kya BBS Kaganga
cho nachoma ko neka koza mutale ezo yasoko koleta wanene nzige ngenda kuzina naye ratonka kanze njagala mukubese enkola akike njagala you know me sit a danger boy abantu be Masindi ono mwenyini alini skin straight tugenda Masindi mu chisawe nga munana boy kimbulu cha BBS teri atugamba yo boy waliwo yakafunye waliwo yakalomye waliwo yagawonyo bunyi ngataga komye
mapara timi katiri kuri mwel pengi kumachalo danja atare okoro kwaka bore kipe chalo gari jeba yenga nabu jarati udu kin manuti yeshwinya shono gini angungo yo en kuma astro lefa straight out aji performing live in Mercedes Stadium en ge mboro pa BBS FM echiberu match ubinwa nembe boza
inakusoma mwezi munana July muchisawe che Masindi
you know me sit a danger boy
kwenda kantu kano nkalibe undakaike erugurali njako banka mazire omugongo iwe okyali misemfuka mukyasa kidi
niko tuyikaramu tuti tuli misengaro ero sangira musiri
nyiziro kugambira amakuru amarungi ngo hato obujune obukuri misemfuka hati buhoyireho akasenda gatoito muno niba kulimira musiri gwona ogwokaine okutarigana ekemu ekaitano 10 ekachikumi oba ekabibiri no gena maiso
hati tractors tukozisanga nkaha
umura iwa kwenda korirwe plowing services kete kutema matindike harrowing uko kuba kabara rigi tema nkelaini za bikaijo kandi hamwe no kujuma ebikaijo nebintu ebindi byona ebikwatagana no kulima gama kukulima okubyara ebihimba ebichori omucheri ebinyobwa hone nibakulimira batera simuzino 0 2 10 orundi 0 kinana na mwenda hana nema tractors zona zikusangwa no Masindi ziteirenda hansi nizichuro harantwara kundimisa okumanya ibikiraho ija BBS FM radio obukinge bagambire kike kikwetagisa orundi batera simuzino 0 orundi 0 kinana na mwenda hana nema ebyo okulimisanga romani ga kifuba bihoireho rubatano mulembe akasenda akataito oba nokozeza tractors zikulima oyima hona oli Masindi oyima Kiryandongo una nitwikayo
cho nasomako nekakoza mutale nze yasoko kuleta wanene nzige ngenda kuzina naye ratonka kanze njagala mukubise enkola akiki njagala you know me sit a danger boy abantu be Masindi ono mwenyini alini skin straight tugenda Masindi mu kisawe ka munana boy kimbulu cha BBS teri atugamba yo boy waliwo yakafunye waliwo yakalomye waliwo yagawonyo bunyi ngataga komye
BBS, the station with the music.
This hour is sponsored by
Tusker Premium Cider. Exploding with taste. For those with taste, excessive alcohol consumption is harmful to your health. Not for sale to persons under the age of 18.
BBS Radio Masindi. July kumepita every month ago. Chimburu cha BBS Radio Masindi. Masindi bwana. Jamuswe chimburu cha BBS Radio Masindi. Gamana July Masindi muchisawe. Chimburu kaganga. Chikuletede Dr. Jose Chameleon.
Vampira Dr. Jose Chameleon sala Simba.
Sabwana toro.
Ngatoro stapuwa. Ngina kubera na mwinga munana okwa musanvu.
Wini nwaji.
Awini nwaji sa munana July. Ngenda kubera.
Omutume planet wa chaiwe njaye.
Masindi nga munana omwezi ogw'omusanvu.
Catherine Kusasira.
Dr. Catherine Kusasira.
N'abalala banjo kuva Kampala.
You know me sit a danger boy abantu be Masindi ono mwenyini alini skin tugenda Masindi mu kisawe ka munana boy.
Wakata n'abayimbi be Masindi okuyingira mu twalo gumuwoka. DJ Sounds ya nese sound. Wakina kwa fireworks. Abanango bamuseze tawule kunde. Mwana ya